Pulverizing profile. What on earth does that mean? It means we're putting it to the test. Here is the profile pulverizer. Now, pulverizing profile. What on earth does that mean? It means we're putting it to the test. We're putting profiles to the test. We're going to look at Facebook as I'm mentioning today. And I thought for today, I'm going to just lead by example. I'm going to put my own profile through the pulverizer, and we're going to see if it comes up all beaten up and bruised, or if it comes out on top, ready to go. So, okay, there's 10. You guys can write these down as we go. There's 10, so you know what to expect. Key elements to a profile. And why are these important? Why is this even worth talking about? This is one of your most viewed assets. This you could consider it's today's business card. It was so funny. I went to a local event to support a friend. He's an attorney. He's running for judge. And he's been talking about this literally for a decade. So as a friend, I'm like, congratulations. This is a big deal. I'm going to support this because you've been clearly focused on this. I don't understand why you're so passionate about this, but I appreciate that you are. And I know you're going to do a fantastic job. So while all this is happening, I'm at this local event. I'm meeting some people and they're like, oh, do you have a business card? And I'm like, that's funny. I haven't had a business card in 11 years. Because why would I have one when everyone is always just looking me up on my profile anyway? Yes, this is Facebook. This is Instagram. This is LinkedIn. This is X. There's a lot of changes coming to X. Are you guys keeping an eye on X? Just keep an eye on it. It is not that they've only been doing tweets. They've made changes, right? There's long form video. You're going to continue to see, this is my take for what's already happening. You're going to see X continue to change as a content platform. They're incentivizing ad dollars in different structure. Have you guys ever heard Charlie Munger, right? Warren Buffett's guy. He says, "Show me your incentives, and I'll show you your results." Like, oh man, you got to incentivize properly. X is changing how they're incentivizing the profile users, platform users. So I'm optimistic and very curious to see how that continues to go. All this being said, these are our online business card. There's 10 key things. When we're sending messages, this becomes even more vital. But Chris, I only have 3 followers. If you have a dialed in profile with very little followers and you compare it to a terrible profile with a lot of followers, I will take the more dialed in profile and watch me book more calls. I'm just placing a high emphasis on this being a very valuable asset. And here's one of my favorite parts of it before I get into these 10 keys. You set it up one time and it will last for years. Usually this is commonly what I hear, and guilty. This is commonly what I felt. It's like another thing to do. Is it really that big of a deal? The things are kind of moving and working. Should I really pay attention and focus on this? Listen, you owe it to yourself to take 30 minutes, do some thinking, change some descriptions, find that picture that you have somewhere, but you don't want to go look for it, and really get this dialed in. I'm going to give you 10 keys to mindfully and strategically leverage your profile, not on one platform, but on all of them. Today, we're starting with Facebook. Key number 1, your profile pic. This is the most seen, right? Because when you're in direct message, this is what people see in direct message. They see it when they're on your profile. They see it wherever you leave a comment. This is the most seen asset. That's why it's number 1. Now, look at my profile picture here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see my mugshot here. This picture was taken. I need to update my picture. I should say this. I don't need to, but I'd like to. But it still checks the box. Is it easy to see my face? Does my expression and gesture communicate on brand? I'm not smiling and I'm really serious. I'm attempting to be approachable. Obviously, that would be a miss, right? But hey, it's just I don't know, smiling. And then I went with the black and white face. And then obviously the branded colors, because as people get into my world, I'm already starting that brand story. Visually, I want to be consistent across platform and across experience of wherever they see me. So profile picture matters. It's number 1. Some of the key elements, usually having something that communicates and is aligned with your brand story and the message and the ethos of who you are, and people can get to know you accurately. We want to be consistent. Consistency equals more trust and faster closes in speed. All right. So some main elements there. Does it ultimately say that? Usually it's our face. We want this to be clear, easy to see, and highlighting as well. Usually putting some type of color around the edge helps it pop, right? Because when we're in different environments, for example, let's go to Messenger here. And when we're in a conversation, look, you can see the green. You can see the black and white face. It pops. Maybe you have an all orange or yellow background. Boom, pops off the page a little bit. It's more memorable. We can look at Christopher Turner here. We can look at Shauna here. She's got pink. We've got blue. See how much more they pop compared to like Caitlin Bell here? And Caitlin, if for some reason you ever see this, all love and respect. Profile picture, some opportunity to level up a little bit. So it's kind of hard. Like face is it's further away. It's not filling up the profile area. It's blends in with the darker gradient background. This guy, you can't see his face at all. We basically just see a black t-shirt. What does that say about his brand? He's running a t-shirt company even. I still want to know him more than his product at this point. And the background is really, there's a lot going on, a lot of lines, a lot of colors. He just kind of fades in there. This isn't clear, right? I look at Shauna and I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, Shauna. Right? Do you guys feel the same way when you're looking at these? Dang, Chris, you're talking about profile pictures a lot. Guys, you have hundreds and thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of people that are viewing this. What if all that did was get you an extra 10%, extra 5% or 1%? You guys with me on this? Yeah,
You didn't mention, Chris, when people put multiple people in that photo and you have no idea who they are, right?
that's
That
a great
happens a
point.
lot too. It's
That is a
terrible because I have
that's
no
a
idea, especially if they have a name that's ambiguous and you don't know if it's the man or the woman or if it's like two or three women and you're like, I don't know who you are.
I have no idea. That's a thank you for sharing that, Natalie. That is a I have completely have felt that multiple times. And when we're obviously a confused mind doesn't buy, and a confused mind certainly doesn't trust. So we only get so much time and attention, and every touch point and hit is opportunity for us to say the right message and the right thing that's consistent with who we want to show up as. When I started thinking through this filter and lens, I started taking my profile a lot more serious, and I was like, I need to be more aggressive because full transparency, my skill set and where I've spent the most time in business is sales. So it's more the hunter, it's more the reach out and connect with people and ask questions and listen. I put profile stuff in the marketing bucket. That's all the pretty stuff. I'm like, look, you don't need, you can give me a Google Doc, a Napkin as a CRM. I'm still going to go out and solve problems and serve people and sell. So while there's some pros to that, in my journey, when I started thinking through some of what I'm sharing today, I really started to benefit more. I started to respect marketing and even this background. Here, I'll unshare screen for a second here. Look at, and here, I'll spotlight myself. Let's just, because this matters too. We're a lot of us are on Zoom all the time. So let's not skip over it while we're on this topic. Spotlight for everyone. Welcome to my humble abode, my home office here, right? All of this space, including that, right? Look at this. I'm giving a shout out to Patagonia and my sleeping bag jacket that was a gift, which is anyway, there's more story there, but let's keep flowing. Even here, my shirt, everything that's visual here. I can go Mike Tyson face paint. That grabs some attention. Maybe not the kind I want, but all of it is digital real estate. And it's communicating message and meaning. And the question is, what is it communicating? I used to have whiteboards back here. It was all dark because I had this thinking, wow, my stuff doesn't matter. What does that matter? I don't get it. But this is it's communicating a story and a message. And I'm bringing that into somebody else's home and somebody else's business and into somebody else's mind. And when it flipped like that for me, I was like, oh, I feel like I could be a lot more considerate. I feel like I could be a lot more strategic. It was just a cold punch to the gut. And so obviously now this is different. And so if anyone asks me, if any, like I want you guys to, is this helpful to think through? Is
Yeah.
this helpful to think through? What we're talking about is higher ROI without making much changes. That's what we're talking about today. So when I started thinking through this, I was like, all right, well, what do I put up? This right here is credibility. Usually people in digital space, they're like, oh, that's the 2 Comma Club award. That they know that I've built a business that's done at least $1 million a year in sales. So that warrants some credibility, that warrants some conversation. And while we love Funnels and Russell and Todd and the gang and everyone there, I can't wait for our FlowChat 2 Comma Club award, which is it's already mocked up. We'll be shipping it probably within the next, I don't know, week or so. And we have the 6, 7, and 8 figure awards. So we don't have a 2 Comma Club. It's just 6, 7, 8 figure. And we had our first 7 figure FlowChat member. We did $1 million in sales FlowChat. And so we were the first member using FlowChat a couple years ago. We were kind of waiting for a member to actually do it. Anyway, all this being said, 6 figures using FlowChat, sell 7 figures using FlowChat. So we can send you an awesome award, and you leverage a piece like this to further establish your journey and credibility. Now, what's this one up here for? If anyone asks about, oh, it's Aloha. I lived in Hawaii for 4 years. What's placed here is strategic, and it's linked to a story that communicates the brand that is being put together. So there's more stories here about me living in Hawaii and all that. And then up here, if you guys have ever seen this one could probably level up and make these words a little bit. Well, now I blur the background too a little bit. This is Latin. I don't know how to say it in Latin. I should learn. That'd be cool. But basically, this phrase, there's a really cool story that goes with this phrase that people sometimes will ask, and then I'll share the story, and it communicates values and ethos. And not to open loop you, to give you a little bit of what the story is about, but not the 5-minute version of the story, is this phrase means, what man is a man that doesn't make the world a better place? And it's wood, and it's kind of, tattered. This is really hard to Vanna White the situation on Zoom. It's backwards, upside down. This is ridiculous. It's a little tattered up because that phrase comes from one of my favorite movies called The Kingdom of Heaven, directed by Ridley Scott. Orlando Bloom, the main role, and he was a blacksmith. And the center beam of his blacksmith shop had this phrase sketched into it. And when in the scene, he meets his father for the first time, and he shares the phrase with him. And it's basically like, either you're somebody that adds value and makes the world a better place, or you're not. And it just punched me in the guts. A very powerful scene. And this right here is my blacksmith shop. And that is part of my focus, is to add value and make the world a better place with the gifts and abilities and time, talent, and focus that I was first given, steward of that to render more. Anyway, so you get the idea. Right. This is just kind of a cool picture that I've loved for years. It reminds me to be present and courageous. So I think it's cool. And then, I love BB-8, a little bit of geek, a little bit of nerd, Star Wars action in there. These pull out different personalities and interests. I can talk movies. I can talk results. I can talk culture and just fun and connection in life. I can talk philosophical and philanthropical type of, and we can get into, most people don't even know. FlowChat, we're funding wells across the world. We've funded 7. Fund was maybe about 6 months ago. So just by being a member of FlowChat, you're also contributing to ending world thirst. So there's other causes that are going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. But as they get to know our brand and us, it's like, man, I knew I kind of like these guys, but now I really like these guys. There's some depth there. These are all the opportunities that we have with all digital real estate we have. So let's go back to Facebook. Is that kind of cool to go through background and think through it a little bit more? Now, do I talk about my stories in every call? No, actually, 10 or 20% of the time. And maybe it's only, it's just the one story. So useful, memorable. And then you guys ever meet those people and you're done with the day and you're around your friends or family or spouse or whatever, and you're like, man, the craziest thing happened today. And you find yourself sharing that story. Are people sharing your story? Because that is free marketing. And also it just feels good and it's a lot more fun. All right. I go a lot faster through bullet points 10 through 2 through 10. But the profile pic, and why it's so important, that same theme that's been communicated obviously rolls out into every piece of content, 2 through 10. So ask yourself this question. This might even be worth writing down. Does this section or piece of content add or take away from my main message? Now, if you look at my banner picture as we go into key number 2, what's the first word, adjective, or feeling that you can put this in the chat? You can unmute and share. What do you feel or think when you see this banner picture? What goes through your mind? First word that comes to mind, first feeling.
Or Family Guy. Yeah.
Family Guy, yes. Sorry, I was
That
laughing.
said,
Yeah.
I do cybersecurity. Your kid's face should be blurred. Just saying that.
Ooh, I
We
very
might
good
want to
point.
consider that. I
Yeah.
can tell you stories, especially with AI. They can generate what the kids will look like in
Gosh,
10 years by going after old pictures. So
thank you for saying that. That is such a
sorry.
no, I appreciate it.
Especially
This
when you're being public like that, you just got to be really careful. I don't even call my kids by their names. If you go back 8 years ago, you'll see it. But my kids are 1, 2, and 3, and they
oh
are now
man.
16, 19, and 22. And I still don't use their names.
No, I because you know much.
Yeah, terrifying.
I have a whole nother story on that path of someone I met last week. And the oh my gosh, the stuff that I oh gosh. Okay.
That's horrible. You've got a beautiful family. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like protection
Thank you.
wise,
Yeah.
you can do a picture of them playing somewhere where you don't see their faces. You can do
It's
a
the
lot of
face.
stuff. Just it's the faces. You got to be careful of the faces.
Yeah, valuable data these days. Love, Dan. So yeah. And Ed, I appreciate your comment. But if I take my wife out of the profile picture, she'll think I like
You
it. So
don't
you
have to
guys,
have the wife out of the profile picture. You could just, I mean, so many things you can do. Like I had one, for example, we had some professional photographers, and it was my nephews and my sons were all climbing a tree. So clearly, like family, I used to have that up, and it was shadowed. It just happened. It was like a gorgeous time, and it was just really shadowed. So you saw the kids, but that was one of them. There's a lot of ways to do it. I can talk through it more, but
yeah,
yeah.
appreciate it. This is an interesting comment. So yeah, I appreciate these comments, you guys. These are the thoughts, these are the questions to iron out. And we take a little bit of time, we do it once and it sticks. And you can notice on the banner picture, Emma, I noticed you mentioning, yeah, the colors, right? Now, I have not mentioned FlowChat at all yet, but I've already began the initial identification and branding process with the colors. And they're distinct colors that stand out. And the phrase that's used is to accomplish something greater than yourself, it takes more than yourself. So you use the word cohesive, and I appreciate that. Yeah, the goal is unity, not necessarily uniformity. The goal is bringing people together. 1 + 1 = 11. And yeah, marriage. Yes, that's family. Yes, that's business and leadership and community with vendors and affiliates and team members and a common value and theme of, Dan, like you said, love. I think those are fruits of love. Yeah, great, right? It took me a minute to get here, but okay, now I'm consistently a message I'm intending to communicate, and that's the goal, right? So banner picture is the second most viewed asset. Here's the third one. It's the bio. If we go to the bio here, you can see this is very easy. It's short and sweet. Building a lifelong marriage, family, and a nine-figure tech company. You know who I am. You know what I value. You know what I'm focused on at any given point. And then I recommend usually putting a link in here so people can continue to learn more about you. Notice this is our Facebook group. Hey, FlowChat, same colors, consistency. And mentioning tech company, and it morphs right into this, right? So it's like, oh, this is Chris. Yeah, that's Chris. Oh, this is about. Oh, here's what he's about. Oh, company. I wonder what that is. Let's click here and learn more for free in the group. That's someone's brain is operating in that order when they're looking at this page, because that's typically how we consume content from profiles. It's important to understand the psychology, because now you know how to use those elements to start crafting the message you want to craft. Here's the fourth one. Here's the fourth. Oh, by the way, words in the intro, I do this and this and jargon words, not cool, not useful, doesn't serve you. We want it to be simple. In fact, great resource, hemingwayapp.com. Write this down, write it on a post-it, tattoo it on your arm. It's a great tool. You can pop in a phrase here and look over here to the right. It'll say readability grade 9, way too high. We want to write at grade level 4 to 6. This is a free app that, go ahead, Emma.
Oh, I was gonna say I love that kind of down. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
So simple is effective.
And I
Simple is
also
effective.
wanted to comment on your profile photo, kind of that green color you have around your photo. It kind of excites people because I think Facebook and Instagram have trained us to kind of that's like you going live or
Yeah.
conscious to me is telling me that something that ring around your profile photo is something to be like, I don't know what it is, but I assume that's what that is.
It was really to grab attention. What you said is totally true. When you're on Instagram, like the ones that got a ring is indicating something's happening. So I love this even more now. Thank you, Emma. So are you guys getting some value from this? Like there, all these little subtle things, when done properly, equal more return for our investment and our time than what we're currently getting. So there's some opportunity here. Pin posts is number 4. You can write that down. Pin posts. Pin post, you can see this one. What is your pin post saying about you and your content? For us, that's the time that someone got a tattoo of FlowChat on their body. If someone were to see, hopefully this headline catches a little bit, customer gets a tattoo, like unique, right? Not many people are getting tattoos. So you can see him actually in the chair. His name happened to also be Chris, if you haven't heard the story yet. And I was like, of course it makes sense to interview him while he's getting a tattoo of FlowChat. So it's okay to have some fun in business, right? The challenge, they did like $1 million in sales with their challenge. And so there was some feature sets that we built for him really quickly. And he's like, if you could do this, like I had a tattoo. And I was like, Chris, this Zoom call is legally binding. I just need to know what body part this is going on. And fortunately, it wasn't like back or inner thigh. He just went with the tricep. And so we could put it on video. Pin post, great, because you also will get more likes, more comments. People can start coming into your world and understand maybe where you want to direct them, quickly. This could also be a call to action. This could be, hey, for our free resource, lead magnet, upcoming training, the next step you want them to take. That would be the spot for them to go. That'd be examples of great pin posts. Pin posts are things that communicate a contrasting message or are distracting from them going from step 2 to step 3 or step 4 to step 5. You guys with me on that? In other words, how does this piece of content build trust and move them through your customer journey? 5th one is testimonial stories. Over here I guess, sorry, quick pause. Intro, we covered the bio, but I didn't really cover this section here. Links it's pretty straightforward. I mean, hey, I went to this high school. If it's significant to your story, then have it. But I'd recommend, information than more. Have you guys seen the profiles where there's like lines here? I did this and this, and I worked at this. Sounds like you switch every 6 months. Me, that doesn't send a great message. When I hear people say, oh yeah, I'm in 3 different businesses, I'm like, oh man, are any of them profitable? Like going on, generally the feel. I hear people say, I have a holding company and I have 3 CEOs in place for these companies. I'm like, oh, I know that is how it needs to be structured if you have any life or a possibility for those being, beneficial, functional, etc. So I lean towards, minimal here. I do include the different social media links. So I let people consume the way they want to consume. People get this. This isn't overwhelming information. They're just going to pick what they want. We don't want to go overwhelming here. All right. So those are my 2 cents there. Let's go to feature stories, which I have listed as number here. Stories, basically. This person got this result. This person got that. This is really small. I need to update this. I remember doing this thinking like, change that. This is great. Face, award, 100K in sales. Like, great. People winning. Wow, it only took 4 hours and look what happened. It's a great time to put for people to be like, wow, it looks like people are getting results and something's happening here, even if they don't fully understand it at this point. And I just have 2 here. Probably fit 1 more. Having 3 would probably be good. And if it's just success, it might be cool. I'm critiquing mine at this point, as you can gather. It'd be cool if this one was like company success or agency success. Call out your avatar, right? How cool will that be? So you can call out, exactly is getting success. Oh, I'm this person. I wonder what these people are doing, right? It allows people to self-identify and move forward. Lincoln, thanks for jumping in. That was number 5. Next is the photo section. Okay, what do you guys think and feel about the photo section here? I think this is a little bit of a miss on my profile right now. It's clear that I've got some call to actions. Go ahead.
A little corporate-y.
Yeah.
A little bit over branded, but that's your personal page, correct?
Yep, personal profile.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
No, I agree. I looked at and you'll start seeing some new content come through here. But this is, again, people are scrolling through and they're gonna quick glimpse, you know what I mean? Like I'm like here and then I go super corporate here. It's like, oh, that's a little inconsistent. So, with the park with my kids and their faces are faced the other way. Thank you, Natalie. And then like event that's coming up or a little variety is what I'd like to see here. So keeping an eye on this section with some variety, but each piece again adding to the greater narrative. You'll see us start releasing more feature sets because we're tech. It's like, hey, this cool thing's happening and here's how it works. I don't know that this image is engaging as it can be. I don't know what this is telling, right? I have to kind of think a little bit harder. So I'd like to we'll maybe update our imagery, but I'm looking through this and talking how others are subconsciously or consciously thinking through what they see on your profile. This can save you so much time. It's like people that, those people where it's like, I don't know, I just post and make, a week and it's great. And you're like, well, that's cool for you. Like, glad you walk on clouds, get that feel or that's that comparative spirit a little bit. A lot of times there's those little things that are in place that we don't always think about as much and they don't even know that they did it. They just happen to do it and they're getting better results. All right, that's the photo section. Let's go to, here. This one you can't control as much. It's something to, pay attention to. Maybe there's certain connections that are in here and you're like, oh, this isn't the right connection. You need to talk to the team about friending, or dialed in ICP. And that way, when you have a really solid ICP that's consistently communicated here, when other ICPs are looking at this, they can be like, oh, I know those people. I'm like that. Like, this is the right person to connect. Have you guys ever done that? You see somebody new, like some speaker or coach or guru, you're like, oh, some of my other friends also are following this person. Some industry authorities, and it's like, yes, yeah, also following this person. Now I'm more likely to follow this person. So it does matter. 8, life events. I finally updated this. It was like the date was wrong and I was okay. New job at Flow. I don't love that it says new job, right? It's like founded the company, like that might, not, but I don't know, maybe more people get it. Anyway, so I could change this or remove it. Hey, graduated, no, I don't think this is super valuable personally, but a very few percentage of people are probably going to even look at this section. Oh, I went to school in Nevada, it was in Nevada. I'm gonna like be a miss, but I'd be curious. Let's go in here really quick. Like, what life events can I add in here that are just more interesting? Minnesota, Hawaii, different places I live, add life event. What can we do? Work, education, relationship, health and so health and fitness might be interesting. Maybe you completed I just did a Spartan race with my family, the first one 2 weekends ago, or maybe you went on a cool or maybe there was like an awesome surf trip you did, or maybe you're like on point and trend with pickleball these days. I don't know, like life event. Tells a story. I need this section. I give myself like a B plus. Look in here and like definitely have some. So American Ninja Warrior. I competed on American Ninja Warrior for 3 seasons. Usually that grabs people's attention. They're like, oh, I want my kids love that show, or I watched it. Like, it's helpful and quick. It quickly grabs attention and there's stories around it. And so I should probably add that. Education is important depending on your, and it's very true. It's like services, all the credentials, or if you're, lawyer, where did you go to school? Very good point, Emma. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's fun about this. Like travel, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I totally need to change milestones and achievement. That's cool. Does it fit within the greater narrative of story? That's number 8 is life events. Let's go to content and yeah, okay. Posts here. Content. I recently did this too. I wonder if I can just find this for you guys fast enough without us waiting. But I love Miro, digital whiteboard. This is where how my brain operates and processes ideas. Here you go, social media profile content. Check this out. So I did this and I was like, okay, my profile is Sean's face and we're just doing real. And on Facebook, I mean, you guys are seeing different results. We're just not seeing a ton of engagement, and that could be for a lot of reasons. I think partially it shouldn't be all reels and somebody else's face on your own profile. I think that one's pretty clear though, right? So I looked at other profiles. First, I went to Ghostin Son, a FlowChat member, and he has amazing content. So shout out to Ghostin. and a top 1%. I mean, going through his profile, look at his picture. He's got contrast color in the background, picture. Funnels University. Cool. About funnels. This isn't really busy. It's easy to see, read, understand, is. And then it says become a top 1% world-class funnel builder, consistent in strategy. And it's top 1%. It's not just anybody. It's top 1%. How many different funnel builders, marketers, everything have you seen? I mean, he feels like it's top quality immediately, and not just using his words, but look at his profile, right? And consistent his message. He's got features right here. He's like, hey, check out some of the stories. Photos are, business. It's a good blend. I felt like he did a good job, right? And I looked at his content. He does simple posts like this that are better for engagement. He has some videos with copy. He has an image with copy, and it also has, text. Why most marriages fail, and a short little video here. So I thought that was really good. Anyway, I won't go through all these, but you can see different styles emerge, right? So I took screenshots of Dumas. He's got like videos. These are kind of squiggly just because of how the screenshot was taken, but basically just made a series of AI videos, but we're posting them. So, research, what pages are you drawn towards and why? And I would follow their structure of content publishing, and obviously, top 3, top 5 key topics that your audience wants to go through. Content is obviously like a whole situation. We could spend 3 more hours on content. Today, it's some high level bullet points of how to be mindful about the content you're posting on your profile. Hey, lastly, number 10, should your profile be personal or professional mode? I'd actually genuinely be curious to hear what you guys think. In other words, are all of your profiles professional or personal? Let me know in the chat. Ashley, in the family section, you can add the fur babies. Absolutely, you can, Ashley. That is totally fair game. Fine, as you can see, if you're not aware, hit the 3 dots. Emma, yours is personal. Nice. Maybe some of you are watching this now or the recording, like, I don't even know what that means. But a couple things to really pay attention to here. Profile, oh, just kidding. Turn off professional mode. So we have our professional mode here. Profile status is kind of my attention. Find out more account status. Okay, I don't know. Mode, and I think they're like view tools. This one is, I think, more of what I was looking for. You can see, each post engagement. There's some other analytics and tools that you have in professional mode on your professional dashboard. I'm not going to go through this whole feature set today. That'll be a different training if you guys want some more there. But you can easily, as you saw, turn off professional mode. I haven't, it gives you some more options. Do you get better reach and all that? I can't numerically, or deny that that is true, but
one of the big issues is that personal mode, you cap at 500 connections and you're not getting followers.
Correct. Yeah, friends. Yeah.
Friends. And so professional mode just allows you a larger reach because you're not capped at 5,000, which people get to very quickly.
Totally true. And when we go down basically what you're alluding to is distribution. And when we go down the distribution, there's all kinds of thought around how much distribution is really being sent or not. Now, hang with me on this topic. I appreciate you mentioning that, because that main factor that you just described is the reason that I ended up switching to professional and have kept it there, is because you can see like the follower count, like you're describing, I appreciate mentioning it, is growing, even though I'm still capped at 5,000 for friends. And this ties right into meta verified. Okay, I don't even know what it is now. It was like 12. Is anyone meta verified here by chance? Going once?
About 50. No, I decided not to do it, but it's about $15 a month.
It's $15 now. Wow.
It's gone up. It's gotten really ridiculously expensive, and really important if your security is not tight. But the fact of the matter is that even people who are meta verified are not always getting. Facebook is understaffed for what they're trying to do for people. So
yeah, no, it is one.
It's a huge
That
problem.
is true. That is numerically and subjectively, objectively, it's all the truth.
Yeah, terrible.
But
that said,
yeah,
you are holding your business, like if you get most of your business through Facebook or Instagram, That's the thing, that $15 is not both. It's one of them, and then you have to pay more money for the second. If
Oh,
you
I
get
thought
all
it
of
was
you,
combined at
yeah,
one point, wasn't it?
yeah, it's not meta verified unless you paid for it. You're not meta verified on Instagram. But if you're getting most
Wow.
of your business from those platforms, then you need to be meta verified. It's not worth screwing around with that.
Because of consumer perception.
I don't think consumer perception is that big. It's because you do get more tools for being meta verified if your account gets hacked and all that other stuff. I mean, do a
Okay.
whole training on like, make sure you download all of your stuff, because so many people like, I've had this account since, beginning of time, and my account get hacked. I was just working with a woman, had everything stolen. She's missing 14 years worth of memory is gone.
Wow.
Because she clicked a link that she thought she didn't click. Who's usually pretty good about it. So yeah,
Interesting.
but I think from
Something
a
interesting.
business perspective, it is much better. Or if you are going to make sure that you are very much in front of people, is you have a private one, and then essentially only your business one gets hacked and taken over, and that sucks. But that you can rebuild. So when people are using that as their long-term, created a course called Hacked and Hijacked because it was happening so much. Where
Yikes.
stuff where they're keeping all their memories, that's where the real problem comes in. You could always rebuild a business page. It's just a pain in the ass, or a professional
profile.
you not still, yeah. Should
Is
be
it
scared, Natasha. You really should be scared. It is terrifying. If you knew what I knew, you'd be as neurotic as I am. That's all.
well, it makes sense. Like Natalie, it sounds like security space. You have a high potency in intake of the horror stories. Imagine those stories make up a really small percentage. That doesn't make them any less credible or real, of course. It's just when being so inundated with all the cases, I'd imagine that change. Is that a true statement that it's
I actually think that you are grossly underestimating the problem. I actually focus on the human element size. I don't do IT. I'm doing the things that you should be doing, like that side that I teach. I teach people what you should do, like all bells and whistles and all the things you need to do, cross this T, dot this I, that you have done what you can do. Because even cybersecurity IT guys don't know most of this stuff. Social media accounts get hit every month on average, get hacked every month. More than 70% of people who, and last year's statistics, the numbers have even gotten higher, know someone's had their account hacked or hijacked. This is terrifying.
4 billion profiles?
I'm sorry, 1.4 billion, 1.4 billion.
Okay, I was
Yes.
like that
But
is
there's
that
four,
would your statement of me that would be gross.
but it's still 1.4, there are
Yeah.
4 billion profiles on
Meta. Yeah.
Meta, Facebook, Instagram has its own numbers, but 1.4 billion social media accounts are hacked every month.
And hacked means
Meaning sometimes they go in, and so somebody's running ads, and if anybody's running ads here, you know that this is a problem because people talk about this all the time. They'll go into your account, they'll hack your account, but they won't take over it. That's just being hacked. And they'll run ads. I know somebody who ended up with $50,000 worth of ads in 1 month on her credit card, right?
Yep.
Hijacked is when they go in and change the password and you're out. You have now lost everything. But there's usually, like, if somebody has gone in, you'll see things being changed a little bit. Oh, I didn't post this, or why is this coming in here? You need to be changing everything right away. You need to change your email address, you need to change your phone number, you need to change your passwords to long and complex. I could talk about this stuff all day because it's fascinating to me, but
no, I appreciate you sharing some of that. Definitely a lot higher percentage than I anticipated.
Oh, it's huge. It's 86% of like, for 80%, the last number is about 80% of people who do get hacked. It's who have social media, happens through social media. Don't even get me started on the reusing of the passwords. I could be here all day. So
Best practices would always for and preventative and proactive. So no, I appreciate you sharing some of those things that perhaps we can put together like another proper training around. Hey, like pay. Actually, send me that Chris at FlowChat.com. I do mean what I'm saying, so there's a way to like move forward with it. And then we can work on finding a time and then doing a training out. Are the 10 key my Facebook profile is now polarized. If there's a better P adjective, I just made that up this morning. But I just wanted to go through profile and just with with another FlowChat member earlier in the week, and I was like, we haven't touched on this in a long time. And this is one of those best practices that can really give a lot more leverage. And when you go through this, you're like, oh man, like this is better, but I need to be saying this on my website and my landing pages and my other, and it ends up kind of honing in and focusing on the things that start generating the right results. So I wanted to share it with you guys.